Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Monkey Man. This is a new film from 2024 with a runtime of 2 hours and 1 minute, a Rotten Tomato score of 87% from the critics, audience 83%, and a letterbox rating of 3.8. This film, inspired by the legend of Hanuman, an icon embodying strength and courage. Monkey Man stars Dev Patel as a kid, an anonymous young man who ekes out a meager living in an underground fighting club where night after night, after wearing a gorilla mask, he's beaten bloody by more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressing his rage, Kid discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite. As a childhood trauma boils over, his mysteriously scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him. This film is directed by Dev Patel, written by Paul Aunguela, Joe Coyle, and Dev Patel, and it stars Dev Patel as Kid, Shartil Copley as Tiger, Pito Bosch as Alfonso, Vipin Sharma as Alpha, Sikinder Key as Rana, Aditi Kalkunte as Neela, Sobita Duolipala as Sita, and Ashani Kalsekar as Queenie. Um, I guess the first thing I'll say is that the film's marketing and the promotion for all this kind of advertise a high octane action sequence of like an action movie, very in the style of John Wick, very intense fight sequences, and then just kind of like us seeing this underdog go for a journey of revenge and redemption. And for sure, you get a lot of that in this film, but I don't think that is the main conceit of the film. That's definitely not the main core of the film. Although there's a lot of that. Uh, Dev Patel very smartly uses this film to also talk a little bit more about some of the cultural issues that are happening. He addresses some really interesting themes of like fanaticism and then going into like this political figure that they have so much power, corruption within the city and the elites. So a lot of that stuff definitely goes onto this film. It's a really interesting departure from what I thought we were going to originally get, but it's kind of like sandwich in between the film, right? So I think once you get to that point in this film, that's the kind of make or break point for you if you've seen it. Now, luckily, this film is now out on VOD, which is why I'm doing the review, so that more people can experience this. But when all is said and done, I think if Dev Patel can direct a film like this, I think he should just continue to try to tell stories, try to give more light to some of these different things, and just give us some really interesting narratives with some very stylistic choices. Uh, I will say that there are a few sequences that uh, the shooting style feels a little weird. There's a lot of like close up in the shot in the face and the eyes, which is really interesting at some point. But I think at some point it also gets too much. It doesn't detract from the film itself. I think the film's still very, very good. But it's just some things that I was kind of noticing, like some of the sequences, like they really just focus a lot on the eyes and the intensity. And that was definitely for effect. But I feel like at some points it just kind of took me out of the film because we were into the middle of this, like, conversation or a sequence or just, something that was happening. So I will say Dev Patel, phenomenal actor for sure, and everyone in this film is great. I think they do a really, there's a few characters that are well rounded out, there's a few more that are just very one dimensional, but I think they are there to serve a specific purpose, fulfill a specific role. So overall they were there for a specific thing. So like it's definitely all part of the bigger plan, and I think that Patel picked and chose very wisely from the cast of characters. I really loved a lot of the imagery in this film, including like just from the underground fighting. Like, we have a snake, and we have, of course, the Patel as the monkey man. Uh, but everything from the city you get to see, from the lowest of like the slums all the way to the most elite beautiful building and everything in between, which is such an intense journey. So yeah, that was very cool. um There's a few sequences where we get a lot of shaky cam, and that, I think that's one of the action directions that really is up to your preference. Like, if you don't like shaky cam, you're gonna notice, because there's some sequences where it really goes all out. But I think the big fights are very well choreographed. You get some surprises. You get to see a side of the culture that I was not expecting, and then also all those individuals come to a play as well. Um, the last thing I'll talk about is the sound. Not only do we have some really cool needle drops, I think the sound design is just very cool. Like, there's a sequence where Dev Patel's character Kid is kind of like training and just hitting a sack of rice, but he's doing it to the rhythm of some drums. I love that sequence. I could have stayed in there watching that for like, another 5 minutes. It was very intense, very cool. Like, it just crescendoed really well with the music, and everything kind of came together at the end. Um, but yeah, there's some really cool action pieces. There's some really cool um, fights, very bloody at some points, very gory, some really messed up elements as well. So yeah, overall, really really enjoyed Monkey Man. I think it's probably a standout in 2024. It is early, but it's one of the better films I've seen this year. So we'll see how it plays out from here. I look forward to seeing more stuff from Dev Patel. I can't believe that Netflix passed on the film like this, but luckily Jordan Peele and his production company were there to kind of like bring this story into the into the mainstream, and put it out in theaters. So really cool to see that. I was able to watch this at the Alamo Draft House, so that was really neat. So if you have seen this film, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.